Our fourth and final conversation this morning, welcome back obviously, is with the Central Medical Lab. They are celebrating Medical Week or Lab Week this week. We have with us in studio Elwin Rodriguez. He's the chemistry supervisor at the CML. Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
And he's joined by Osmar Kowo. He's the lab manager at the Buttonwood Bay Medical Center Lab. Good morning, gentlemen.
Gentlemen, good
and
morning.
happy Lab Week.
Thank you.
And yes, happy Lab Week.
Thank you very
Talk
much.
to us about the commemoration of Lab Week, what it means for you guys in this particular field of work, and of course, what are some of the activities, if any, that you guys are undertaking this week?
Well, once again, good morning, and thank you for having us here. When it comes to Lab Week, this is something celebrated not only nationally, but internationally. And this is the time that we take to sensitize the public, to make them aware of the lab crew, sometimes referred as the lab rats. We're there, and we just want to say, hey, we're right here. We're typically seen as the guys behind the scenes. Whenever you come to a health facility, the first faces that you see might be a nurse, a doctor, and rarely you would see a lab technologist. A term that I would like to emphasize, because sometimes we refer to the lab professionals as lab technicians, and we're technologists. So,
What's the difference?
a technician is not a trained professional.
Okay.
Is just a technician. Just a technologist is someone that has the degree, someone that has gone through the courses, the professional course, and has the title. Now in Belize, we can say that we have lab scientists, because we have the University of Belize has increased the curriculum, and they now offer a bachelor's degree. So now we have a lot of lab scientists. In fact, the associate's degree has been X'd out, and now we're just offering the bachelor's. So during this week, like I said, throughout the world, we are celebrating our professionals. And when we talk about lab professionals, it's not just the lab technologists. We also have phlebotomists. We have laboratory aides. We have laboratory technicians, and so on. We have different personnel that take part in a laboratory setting.
Yeah.
How important are these respective roles? I know that, working in a lab, either doing blood work, doing various aspects of medical science or lab science, how important is this?
Well, each that I mentioned regarding the phlebotomists, the lab aides, each of them have their specific role in the lab. A phlebotomist is the first one that you meet whenever you're taking the blood sample. These are persons trained in the extraction of blood. So then you have lab aides or lab technicians that they are the ones that assist the lab technologists or the lab scientists. So it is very important to have these different positions in the lab so that the work has an easier flow.
Gentlemen, I want to take the conversation more on a personal level, since we're celebrating both of you here this morning. Let's begin with you, Osmar. As a laboratory manager with the Buttonwood Bay Medical Center Lab, what sparked your interest in this field of work?
Well, I have been doing this for almost 17 years now, and at Buttonwood Bay Medical Center, we offer all the tests that are used routinely in a clinic or a hospital setting, because we also have a hospital. I like what I do. I enjoy what I do, and I think that our job is important because we help the doctors, the physicians, to treat, diagnose, and prevent diseases, right? So I think that is one of the main reasons why our job is important, because we help patients to get diagnosed and to get better, or to prevent something from happening. So our job is important in helping people, you know.
Yes. And you, Elvin, talk to me about where your interest came from in laboratory work.
Yes, just like Osmar, I have over 17 years in as a medical technologist. In fact, I'm going to show this one in Osmar and I go way, way back from Corozal High School.
Wow.
And we both decided together to do medical technology. Back in that time, it was far less known about the medical technology. In fact, it was only five of us, right, that graduated from the course. We're lucky now that the demand and these shows have helped in creating awareness. And now we are getting around 20 students graduating every year. So I knew that I wanted to do something in the health field. And to be honest with you, on a personal, I thought, to be a doctor, it's a lot of years. I don't know if I want to do so much years. So what else?
Yeah.
And then I saw the lab. And to be honest with you, the lab technologists, lab professionals, there is more. We've been a little bit underrated because, as Osmar said, we are critical. We're a very, very important role in the health system.
Yes.
Without the work of a laboratory technologist, the physician cannot treat you. The nurse cannot treat you. The pharmacist cannot give you your medication. We are the ones that will determine what is the illness, the sickness, what is causing it. And to an extent, we are the ones that will also advise how to be treated. An example would be in the microbiology section. We are the ones to grow the bacteria that might be causing the infection. And at the same time, we will apply the antibiotics to those bacteria, and we will inform you which one has the most is the most sensitive to the antibiotics, so that you can properly treat. So I would like, Belize, and if you know a laboratory technology, just show a little appreciation to
Give
the
them
work.
their big ups.
Yes, yes.
I mean, it sounds so interesting, because what I'm understanding is that these laboratory scientists or laboratory technologists are the individuals behind the scenes, identifying what the issue is, and of course finding out through science what a solution can be.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Correct. The biggest example was 2020, COVID. We were the ones that were there. We didn't stop. We were the ones to test, to know if you have the COVID. And based on our results, then the treatment was given. So, again, the lab, the issue might be that we are not at the front.
Yeah.
We're not there. Sometimes they confuse us. They see that we have a lab coat, and I will tell I'm sure that they call Mr. Smart doctor, but we're not doctors.
Yeah.
We're laboratory technologists.
What was that experience like for you guys during the COVID years? This is something that was fairly novel. It's new. You haven't seen or experienced this before. What was it like for you guys? I mean, I would want to think, even though you're sort of behind the scenes, you're still front line in terms of being able to respond to something that's pandemic in this regard.
Well, maybe Osmar and I had different, or maybe the same. I'm not sure. He will share his one. But when this occurred, at first, yes, maybe the demand was more on our part, right, on the Central Medical Lab, because we are the reference lab, and it was something that we had not experienced over, like I said, over my 17 years serving. I had not experienced something like that, and
Yeah.
it was very exhausting. It was. We went Central Lab is generally 8 to 5. Is a different setting from the hospital. The hospital, and I must mention that it's not just about Central Lab, but also the district labs, they have to be rendering service 24/7. Central Lab also does that, but on a smaller scale. But when COVID occurred, everything changed. Everything changed. We then had to be ready to respond on calls and different shifts. So there was a big demand. It took a lot, and I must mention that in Belize, unlike the great U.S., in the U.S., a lot of laboratory technologists after COVID ended up resigning
Really?
because yes, and that is statistically
Too much
because
stress?
it was too much stress. Well, I guess there is a lot of them there. We still need more here in Belize.
Different
Different
scenarios.
scenarios. So, but it was
Yeah.
in the private sector. Then they came along as well. They had
Yeah.
a lot of demand there.
Let's talk about your experience, Osmar.
Well, when it comes to COVID, I guess we were taking care of the other diseases, right? We did not participate as much with COVID. Other private labs did start when the government allowed them to start testing. They started to do the test, but we decided not to deal with COVID.
Okay.
Remember, during the pandemic, there were still other
Yeah.
diseases that had to be treated, right? At Botnwood Bay Medical Center, a big part of it is the cardiology lab, right? A lot of those patients are elderly, and we also have a gynecology section with babies, right? So we did not want to take the risk of exposing them to COVID. So whilst they were dealing with COVID, we were dealing with the other.
How long have you been at Botnwood Bay?
I have been with Botnwood Bay for 11 years now, since they opened.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Interesting.
Yes.
Gentlemen, you obviously are essential to the work in the medical field, and we should be paying you the respect that you deserve while we're celebrating you here this weekend. And is it this week because we have you here on a Thursday now, concluding the week? I want to know, how would you guys like for us to celebrate the work that you do?
You wanna go first?
Well, to be honest, like he said, it's just what I have noticed in my experience is that whenever patients go to the clinics or to the hospitals, they would ask for doctors or nurses, right? And sometimes the doctors and nurses cannot assist them with what they need. They would have to come to us, right? So the reason why we are here is because we're trying to make our profession known.
Yeah.
And I think that the biggest satisfaction that we can get is when someone gets better and understands the importance of the help that you render to them.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of patients do. They show their appreciation. They would. But I think that a lot of that appreciation, the ones that get it the most are the doctors and the nurses, right? So we're just here to be known.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I would say the same. I think that that phrase behind the scenes, lab techs have adopted it to the point that sometimes during this week when we want more of them to come out and participate in this, some of them are shy. They are used to being. So I say, so it's really like you like being behind the scenes.
They got so used to it.
They got so used to it. They got so used to it. And we always see that there is a lot of celebration for our colleagues, which we are glad. When we celebrate nurses, when we celebrate pharmacists, when we celebrate the physicians, the doctors. But we're just here to say, hey,
We're here too.
We're here too. We're
Yeah.
here too.
Yeah.
And without this year's theme is the lab is everything. That is the theme. And in fact, we can say that the lab is everything. Everyone depends on the lab. As I said, your nurse, your doctor, your pharmacist depends on the lab so that they can also provide the services that they offer.
All right. Well, gentlemen, happy Lab Week. I hope that you are able to enjoy this week. I know that you can't stop the work because your work continues, but I hope that you're able to feel some sense of appreciation after sharing what exactly you do.
I want to extend the invitation. Today we have a health fair
Okay.
at the blood bank. The blood bank has moved from where it was. It's at what's this? The name of the street where Belize Diagnostic used to be. So the blood bank is along with the other departments from Central Lab. Is organizing a health fair, and we want to extend the invitation to the public, to students, so that they can know what we do in the lab, what there is to the lab. It's a very exciting profession. It's something and gratifying, like Osmar said, when you know that you're helping, when you know that because of your results, they were treated and got better. It's a good feeling. So maybe if someone is interested, if students are interested, they can visit the health fair and get more information about laboratory technology.
All right. Elwin, Osmar, thank you so much for stopping by.
Thank you for having
We
me.
wish you all the best. We hope that you're able to celebrate a little bit, even if it's just with a cupcake. And of course, we hope that you continue the great work that you're doing.
Thank you very much for
Thank you
having
very
us.
much.
All right. Well, that about does it for our show. We had 4 wonderful segments, and we want to say a special thank you to our guests who stopped by this morning. But also thank you to you, our viewers, for tuning in and sticking with us as you start your morning right. It is April the 18th. It's Thursday, and if you're celebrating a birthday today, happy birthday to you. And if you'd like to give a birthday shout out, or if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can send us an email at oie@channel5belize.com. You can also catch us on Facebook at Open Your Eyes BZ, as well as Instagram for behind the scenes content at OIE Belize. Thank you so much for joining us, and please do us a favor and join us again tomorrow for Fun Friday as you open your eyes.
Start your morning right.
Until then, keep your eyes, your mind,
And your heart's open.
have a wonderful Thursday.